Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Huntley's World of Weather. You clicked on to the long-range weather forecast discussion from May 27th to June 10th. Before we get to the forecast, we have our first area disturbed weather, the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, and here it is right here. It remains fairly disorganized, although there's deep convection associated with this, but it's scattered. And it's not forecast to enter any rain, but it does have some chance of developing into a system, a tropical system or subtropical in the next couple days between Bermuda and the Bahamas. And we'll take a look at the computer models for this, and we'll look at what the, this is the GFS. Hardly see anything associated with it. It kind of appears and disappears, and it moves out. And then you look at the European, kind of like the same thing. It develops a weak surface low. It doesn't forecast to develop into much of anything due to divergent winds aloft. Okay, so here we'll take another quick look at that. Here it is right here. Here's where the deep convection is. You can see the area of deep convection right here, and there might be another area to the east, but you can see it's not much organization with this. Kind of looks like a frontal low here with a front, but you know, we'll keep an eye on this next couple days. Okay, we're going to get to the forecast now. This is for the period May 27th to 31st, and this is what we're forecasting still. It's still a zone of flow here across the country, although we have this trough that moves into the east, ridge builds into the west, and here we have our ridge over Mexico causing extreme heat across Texas and the Gulf Coast. Now, we have a deep upper low over Canada that will send multiple frontal boundaries across the central and eastern states next week. And a front will spread rain from south and east. We'll look at that at the surface. How did that get in there? We'll have several frontal boundaries that will be moving into the east. And a front could stall near the Gulf Coast and could bring and will coast as moisture pools along the boundary and interacts with favorable instability will cause rain and storms across the area. And a deep upper low will also approach the northwest and send a frontal boundary across the region and the Intermountain West. The front will this will also bring snow to the highest elevation still, as we're getting into June, still talking about snow. And this front will track to the plains later in the east, later in the week. Okay, let's see. And this will bring widespread showers and storms across the plains. And then we have the ridge across Mexico will bring hazardous heat that will condition across portions of the South, the Gulf Coast, and South Florida into early next week. Okay, we're going to look now at the period for June 1st to the 5th. And we can still see this is a change from yesterday's forecast. I have a trough here. You can see a trough and a trough here, ridging in between. The models are good in a good agreement with that. So for this forecast period, I am calling for above normal temperatures here for much of this region, and calling for anomalies to be 6 degrees or more above normal, below normal temperatures here, with anomalies of 2 to 4 degrees below normal. For precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here and along the east coast. The probability of occurrence is near 35%, and then we have above normal precipitation for this region here. The probability is nearly 40%. Okay, we're going to look at the period now for June 6th to the 10th. And the pattern, the forecast hasn't changed much since all week, pretty much. Still forecasting a trough here along the west coast and in the east. This will, due to this upper low here, and we'll have a ridge in between. Above normal heights here cover much of North America. So for this forecast period, calling for a little change in temperature anomalies, and for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here. And for this region, probability of occurrence is nearly 40%, greatest anomaly here. Above normal precipitation forecast for this region, and the probability of occurrence is nearly 35%. So that's the long range weather forecast discussion for May 27th through June 10th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.